So, it's Saturday. I'm in the house. Everybody's out and about, and I love that. You hear fireworks going off over there. Over here to my right, you hear some major music. Like, people are partying. And I'm kind of here for it, but I'm so tired. It was a long day. Today was my first day working my new job and trying to manage an event. And I was like, this is a hard pass. This is a hard pass. Oh my goodness. But I got through it. I did it. It felt like, I don't know. I felt like at times it felt like it wasn't going to happen. It felt like it was going to be like, and I was mad. I was like, call my friend and just like, but now it's like, okay, after everything is done, after everything is good, it's like, okay, So if you're running a business, one of the things I will say is I always make sure I try to stay calm. I always make sure I try to stay calm. I try to make sure, because there's been times where I fucked up. And, and it's not like I'm trying to do it maliciously. And I think that's the difference with a lot of stuff. Like, I think people, I don't think you should go ham on somebody and they're really legit trying. I just don't think you should go hard on people. You shouldn't yell at people if somebody is really if they're doing their best. Sound like a gunshot, right? It's not. We're still celebrating the 4th of July 10 years later. So I don't think that you should yell at people just because they fucked up and everything. Oh, thank you, love. I appreciate it. I went ham on this outfit. Thank you. That's like the first time I got that today. So I wanted to yell at my contractors, but I didn't. I didn't yell at them. I worked through it and I talked to them. And at the end of the day, they killed it on the field. We had a rocky first inning. But by the end of the quarter, all the shit went through. Hey, baby. I like VT Wise guy. Y'all gotta check him out if you haven't. But because I don't cuss out my contractors, even though some of them do some fuck shit, which I also recognize that I do fuck shit too. But because I don't cuss them out, it's a respect thing. It's a mutual respect thing. And if you don't have that mutual respect, it's like, oh, hold on, I gotta sneeze. Come on. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. Sneeze is whenever I sneeze, it scratches right down here in the lung someplace, comes out through my nose. Shit's crazy. So it reminds me of I forgot where I was going with that. But basically all I'm saying is the people who work for you, you work with, you have to show them respect. It has to be a mutual respect. And part of that respect is not yelling at somebody you should have did this and why wasn't this done. So I showed that I was frustrated because it's just we gotta pick this shit up. I'm not happy about a lot of things that I'm seeing here. I'm not happy about this. But on the flip side, again, I fucked up too. And everybody's always pretty cool with me. So it's understanding that everybody is human. Everybody is making mistakes. And let's keep it together and let's work through so we can do something, better. That's what it comes down to. And I love the people who work with me. I don't like to say things for me too much because it feels like I'm a boss. Hey, Summer, how you doing, girl? But my contractors, I always say they work with me. We work together. We work together to make things happen. One, I feel like that keeps my ego in check. I think that as people, when people get money and people start moving up in the world, they start feeling themselves. They start getting real presidential, and they start looking down on motherfuckers yeah, I'm a manager. And you're like, bitch, yeah, but you a manager at McDonald's. Come on, get your life together. But they take that to heart and they start to get power hungry. Have you seen people like that? People who got power and they feel the need to shit on you because of the position they're in. Some are you a young woman, and this is something that I went through this when I was younger. I didn't know what it was, but you're going to run into older women, and they're going to be some older black women, and they're going to be some hating ass bitches. Like, and the thing about it is, you expect the hate to come out in an obvious way, but it doesn't, like they will hate on you. They're going to hate on you, especially if you got really far in your life, especially if you've done really well for yourself in your life, especially if you pretty. So when I was I used to work for this attorney. I'm not going to say her name because she's an attorney, but she used to be this attorney. And I started working with her I had to be like, I was dating Jamal. Was I dating Jamal? Yeah, I think I was probably like maybe 23 at the time. I was 23 at the time. Not super mature. Like I feel like 26 and below, you still a kid. You still trying to figure out stuff because you have not experienced a lot in life. I think that's where my patience comes from, because people expect you to have the same experience that they have, and you've never gone through that experience. You've never gone through that experience. So, that's why I tend to have patience with people, because everybody has different experiences. What's up? There's my trainer, Official Demore. I'm probably pronouncing that all wrong, but there you go, because that's not what I call him. But like, for instance, he's into fitness. He knows everything about fitness. If I ask him a question about fitness, or I say something dumb as fuck about fitness, like fat weighs more than muscle. And he ain't like, bitch, you are a stupid bitch. That is not correct. Quit being a stupid bitch. You should know better, you stupid bitch. Like, that's not my realm. So that's why I come with patience a lot. But a lot of women, they're not going to have that. And this lady, her name, I'm not going to say her name because she's an attorney. But so this lady, she, I had started working I was interning with her. And I used to work with this other attorney. And he was a male attorney. And he was the nicest, kindest. If he was the only man I had ever met, I would never say a bad thing about men at all, because he was just the kindest dude. Like, he really looked at me like a granddaughter, and he recommended me to her. And at first, I thought she was cool. And I was working in a field that I had never worked in. So she sat down, we talked through, and I took notes. And at the time, when you're young, you don't always know, your learning process, your learning method. For me, I'm a person that I can take things in when I see it and when you tell me it, but I really can't digest it until I do it. But I didn't know. So she's telling me, and I'm writing these notes. I'm trying to, get my shit together. But naturally, I'm new. So I don't remember everything. So, she gave me like a week of a training period. And then after that week of not getting, these things, and I'm working in medical records, in law, medical records. And, I didn't know the medical terms. Like, I studied law and everything. I was in school to be a paralegal. I understand how to research, which is what they teach you about being a paralegal. They teach you how to research. But I don't know medical jargon. I don't know what a TBI is. Like, I don't know this shit. So sometimes I would fuck things up because I didn't know it. And she would come and she would find out I fucked it up, right? She would look at it. And she would sit down and she's like, did you get the records from such and such and such and such? And, I'm like, no, I didn't see it. Based on my review, that's not what I saw. And she'd be like, did you check here? And I would, maybe I didn't see it. And then instead of her saying, hey, you want to make sure you check here, like that's easily to an issue, she started to kind of tear me down and was like, I could see why, why someone like you probably wouldn't be able to find that. What? Oh, and it's just that, it seems like somebody else who was a little smarter than you, like they would probably get that. And, it just doesn't seem like you're all there. Like maybe you have some type of mental issues because you just don't understand this. And then maybe I need to go and find somebody else. Now, see, at the time, the bitch had low self-esteem. So to me, I'm like, no, I can't lose this job. No. And I stayed there. And she would just degrade the fuck out of me. Now, the crazy part was there was another chick who worked in the office with me. And this chick, she was we were like from two different ends. She had like a rougher background. She was I think we were like the same age, and I want to say I was like 23 at the time. 22, 23 at the time, and she was like same age as me, but she had like 3 kids, and I think she had 1 or 2 baby daddies, and the last baby daddy was just like crazy as fuck. Like, that's a whole other story, but like this dude threatened to come up and shoot everybody in the office. Like, what the fuck? And then you had me. Like, I didn't have those issues. You know, I was in college. I didn't have no kids. You know, I had real high self-esteem about myself. I'm friendly. I like to smile. Like, what you see is what you get. And like, that pissed her off. Like, she ain't like that. And my grandma used to always be like, when such and such would happen with a chick, she'd be like, they jealous. And I'm like, Grandma, I'm fat as fuck. What do you mean they jealous? You know, what are you talking about? I look weird, Grandma. She's someone who I truly believe was jealous of me through and through, because she took in, like, when a black woman, especially when you fuck up, correction should come from a place of love. You should be correcting you. You should be saying words of positivity. Hey, I can see how you might think that, but it's not right. Let me tell you why. Blah, 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 right? You should never be attacking one's character. You never should be attacking one's looks. You never should be attacking one's circumstances. There were times when she would bring in situations, like my personal situation. Like, you know how dudes be like, women, you can't share things with women because they will pull it out and they will throw it back in your face. Like, that's one of those times where I was like, all right, man, I understand. I can see, right? But she one time I had broke up with my boyfriend. I was just so sad. Like, I just came into work. I remember one time crying at work, and you know, my coworker, be it that we were from different backgrounds, my coworker was still really cool, you know, so she helped me through that, and we helped each other. Like, she was going through shit, and we were really cool, and to this day I really like her. But she had found out that my boyfriend broke up with me. I don't remember if I told her or maybe, you know, my coworker told her, but somehow she found it out. So I got in trouble for doing something. And so she went in there, she sat me down in her office, you know, to do her berating, because that made her feel good. That made her feel like a boss, because she made it. She was just like, yeah, you know, I don't know if it's just that your boyfriend has left you, and, you know, maybe, you know, you're just not thinking clearly because of that. And it's like, bitch, what the fuck? Like, I tried to get this information. I sent it enough time. They didn't give it to me. Like, what do you want me to fucking do about it, right? Like, what do you want me to do? So anyway, wild. So time goes on, and I'm just like feeling a certain type of way, but I'm scared, and you know, I'm on some bitch shit at this time. I'm on some major bitch shit. And she had been telling us that she was going to pay us for Thanksgiving. She was like, I'm going to pay for Thanksgiving. I'm going to pay for Thanksgiving and the day after Thanksgiving. I'm going to pay for Thanksgiving the day after Thanksgiving. Like, she kept saying this to us over and over again. So the week of Thanksgiving, I lived in a hood area. So in this hood area that I lived in, the electric would go out way more than any other place that I lived in. Like, that shit was going out every Thursday, every Wednesday. And see, back then we didn't really have, our phones weren't all these beautiful mini television and computers that you're carrying around. They were just like more digital, you know, so you didn't really do, and some of them had time, you know, little alarms on them, and some didn't, and some they might have had it, but because it was so weird, you couldn't find the shit. So this particular day, I woke up and I found out that the electric had went off. Like, the electric, sometime in the middle of the night, the electric had went out. Because when I woke up, it was like 9:45. It was like 9:45, and I was supposed to be at work at like 8:30. I'm like, fuck. So I called Ty and I was like, hey, can you tell Doris, oh shit. Can you tell her I'm gonna be late? Can you tell her I'm gonna be late? And she's like, no, don't make me tell her. She's gonna be all mad and want to talk about you. And I don't want to hear her talk about you. I'm like, Ty, like, I just really don't want to talk to her at all. But I'm going to be late. I have no choice. Like, I'm already late. Like, this is where we're at. This is what happened. So I get there. So all of a sudden, this bitch wants to have a meeting. She wants to have a meeting. And this is Wednesday. This is the day before Thanksgiving and Black Friday that she was going to pay us for. This bitch was like, well, I talked to my accountants and my accountant said that, I can't afford to pay you guys for Thanksgiving and the day after. And I'm just, and I can't pay you. I can't pay you. Even though I've been telling you I was going to pay you for like a whole month now. I can't pay you. So I'm upset. Like, how petty? You mad because I was late? How petty is that? And the shitty part is like, I didn't get like paid time off. So because she wasn't going to pay me, I wasn't going to get the money. And that made me so mad. It made me just really, really, really mad. And I think for the first time in my life, I felt really helpless. I felt so helpless. And what I think made it hurt even more was it was a mature black woman. It was an older black woman who's supposed to look out for me, who's supposed to school me. And, I came from a really blessed upbringing where the majority of the black women in my life, they poured into me. They wanted to see me do better. Like, they put me in positions. I had favoritism. I was a little teacher's pet. Like, they put me in a position where I wouldn't have to be like some little hood rat. Like, they lifted me up because I could have been a hood rat. And I was very blessed that I had a different background than some of my other family members. So, at that point, though, I was like, you know what? Something sounds funny about this. Like, my coworker who hood, she wasn't mad. She wasn't mad. She didn't she didn't get rude. When I tried to talk about it, she wasn't like trying to engage. So I was like, oh, okay. Okay. All right. I see what's going on here. Like, it's some fuck shit that's happening. And I put it together, but I didn't say anything. And my hood coworker, she's about her money. She got 3 kids. She about her money. So there is no way she's going to be cool after you said all that shit. Like, there's just no way you're going to be cool about that. So, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do some stuff. So she used to do like this type of psychological warfare. She used to do like the psychological warfare where she was like, I have cameras all over. But eventually I kind of debunked that theory because we moved to a new spot. And I knew there was no way in hell that she had a camera up there. But I was going to test the theory because I was like, you know what? I'm ready to risk it all. So I go into her office, and because she was so like against electronics, she wouldn't use anything electronic. Like, she wanted to do everything on paper. But because she wanted to do everything on paper, it fucked her dumb ass up, right? So I go into a room, and she would take us out to lunch. And I used to go to lunch because I'm like, oh, it's free. But then eventually I stopped going out to lunch with her because I was like, oh, this bitch is fake as fuck. Like, I forgot to say this. She would talk about us so bad. She would talk about us so bad, talk about me, behind my back to my coworkers, both of them. Like, she would say some crazy stuff. Like, just would talk about me back. She would tell my coworker, oh, I don't think she's ever going to start a business. Sorry, the mobile bartending business. Fuck out of here. Oh, I don't think she's going to graduate. I have a master's. Like just how it's so sick and how wild this chick just hated on me so bad. Like an older black woman like that is just unfair. Like just so unfair. So unfair. So I went into her room, and because she didn't like to use electrics, she had us write down our timesheets and everything. And she would have us sign it down because she liked paper. And again, dumb bitch, let me go get your little old ass shit together. So I went into her room, and I went into her drawer, and I pulled up the timesheet for the time that she said she couldn't pay us, right? And I saw that she paid my coworker. She told us, she was out there saying face. So she said it in front of us so that, she wouldn't have to pay me, but she went ahead and paid my coworker. And let me tell you how she would go hard for my coworker. She would give my coworker extra money, even though my coworker didn't work. She would let my coworker take loans. But if I did something slightly out of order, she would sit me down and would berate the fuck out of me. She would talk about the way I looked. She would talk about my personality. She would just talk about me completely. And it was like, what are you doing right now? Why is this happening? So time started going on, and I started realizing, okay, she's a bitch. She's a bitch. She's a big fat bitch. She's the biggest bitch. And she didn't have teeth. And I used to say the reason why she ain't have no teeth was because she used to say such foul things with her mouth. Just the way she talked, it was just ridiculous. So I started watching. I started making mental notes. So if we had a holiday and she's like, I'm not paying for this holiday, I would go a couple days after when they went on lunch, because they would go to lunch often. So because everybody was tight, even the old bitch who would come there and work with her, and the reason why I call her an old bitch is because she co-signed that bitch. She knew the other lady was wrong. She knew the other lady was being a bully to me. She knew the other lady was being rude to me, and she knew the other lady was being out of line. There's no way you go to church every Sunday and this is how you treat people. And she knew it, and she co-signed it, and she wanted me to just keep quiet. Oh, well, she does that to everybody. What? Okay, yeah, she does it to everybody. It don't mean it's right. So I stopped going out to lunch with them, because I realized then, it was that point in life, at the age of 23, I realized I cannot do fake people. I cannot do fake people. I don't know. I don't think I'll ever be a billionaire, just because it's hard for me to not show disdain. It's just, it troubles my spirit to pretend like I care about somebody when I don't. So at that point, I realized, all right, I don't like fake people. I'm not going out to lunch with her. And she would try. She was like, oh, they got those little desserts and da-da-da-da-da. I was like, no, it's fine. I got some work to keep up with. And I made sure, and these are notes. This is how you fuck with these people. Stop engaging in friendly conversation with them. You keep it on a high and by, and whatever is related to work, that's what we'll talk about. That's it. I don't need that. I didn't talk to nobody. And even my coworker, me and her, we talked when she wasn't there. But when she was in the office, I cut that out. Because, and she would come back and talk, and I was just, yeah, okay, yeah. I'm not going to sit here and suck your dick. But, I'll be cordial. And the whole time, baby, I was plotting and planning. Okay? And then there's a bug up there. There's bugs in my hair. Okay. There's bugs in my hair. I was plotting and I was planning, okay? So, after cats, what are y'all doing, cats? Y'all should be up here doing your job. So, hi. I'm sorry, I just get so distracted. So time is going on, and I also made sure another tip, if you're in a situation like that, you gotta get perfect. You gotta get perfect. You have to be perfect. Get perfect on what time you come into work. Don't be late no more. And don't stay over. Now she ain't get no overtime from me. I didn't get there late, and I didn't give no more overtime, because if it didn't get done in this time, I'm not doing it. I made sure I stayed quiet more, because Then it allows me to get through work quicker, which means I wouldn't need to do overtime. I started being more meticulous. Like I started changing my mindset, because if I wasn't going to change my situation, I had to change my mindset, right? If you're not about to be out of a situation, don't keep staying in that situation and killing yourself and just thinking so negatively. You have to change your mindset. Not saying you should be with a guy who's a cheater, but if you were to get with someone who's a cheater and you're like, I love him, I'm never leaving. Okay, well, maybe not be mad that he's a cheater, but perhaps like be mad. Be mad that don't be mad at all. Flip that energy. Like, oh, where are you going? Okay, well, I'm gonna need that credit card. If I'm gonna need that credit card, he needs to pay. He has to come off of some type of discomfort since you uncomfortable. Okay, you need to change how you engage and interact with this person. All right, boom. All right. So number 2, you gotta be meticulous about your stuff. You have to, because if you don't give them anything to say, they can't say nothing about it. And I also started taking my own notes. I had my own little journal. I started taking my notes. I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this. So I started falling back. And then the other thing, I started having more, I think I got to a point where I was fed up. I went to go, made a life-changing decision. I was going to go interview for an assistant job. And at the last minute, at the assistant job, I saw this like ad in the newspaper, and it was Chase. Chase was having an open house, and I had a guaranteed appointment with this admin assistant, and I have never been able to get an admin job, but I had a guaranteed appointment with this admin assistant. And over here, it's an open interview. I might get it. How will I stand out? I don't know. So I made this last minute choice, which was a pivotal moment in my life, and I ended up doing a no call, no show with that admin assistant, and then I ended up going to Chase. And once I had that interview with Chase, changed my life. So come back later. I'll give you the rest of that story of what happened after Chase and what happened with that big evil ass bitch. Have a good night. Be safe, be sound, be loved.